1/4 of an inch bolts. You have a set of nuts here, all 1/4 of an inch. And then what's important here, you have 2 big washers and 2 tiny lock washers. Those are important that you pay attention to this and put them in the right way. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this over and put so these should all go through easily. If not, you might want to go ahead and re-drill, but it should be fine. Even if you don't, you'll just have to feed the part through a little bit. Just be careful not to break it. Okay, so we got all those through. Now, the ones in front, well, you can tell it's in front is because it has this 1/2 inch round spot. You want to put nuts on, one for each part, and that will be more apparent why here in a little bit. I'll keep you in suspense for now. Okay, and try to make it so that the ends align up with the square right here. So you want the square to be right there. This can be a little bit loose. Try to have it tight, but have it flush so that if I put the motor in, it goes in without having to turn the nut. Then I take the 2 big washers, and then what I do is I go ahead and I put these on. Don't put them on all the way, only put them up until they're flush against the bolt, because you need to be able to pull these out a little bit. So there is your constructed holder for your Z motor. Then what you do is you go over here and turn it upside down. You move it over like this, and then you go over here and you prepare to tighten this. Tighten it. And don't be alarmed, it doesn't look like it fits yet, but that's part of the magic. Okay, so there is your mount. So you kind of want to align it so that it matches the Z bar, and you tighten down the washers to where it goes into place. Now what we do is we go ahead and the bottom of this Mendel printer, we're going to move in a little bit to adjust this. This is it's maybe not the best method, but it's just the easiest because there's no way to predict exactly what size you're going to have or what is going to be the size up here because of the way these parts come out when they're made. So then go ahead and the bottom only, the Mendel Virtus, you loosen up the bolts on the inside, and then on the outside you bring them in up until that part matches, and until that bottom here we go. And make sure you loosen the bolt on the inside first, and make sure these are in about the same. It doesn't need to be precise enough to measure. There's enough play in the Z-axis that it shouldn't matter, but oh well, I really got to take that in. Okay, so okay. The other thing too is this will flop back and forth, so you can't just go by where this is. You need to actually look at it and say, okay, you need to straighten it and look at it and say, okay, that's about right, but I need to have it in a little bit more. Let me go ahead and see. There we go. So I can see that there's a little bit of stress still on that part. Let me go ahead and bring this in. So anyway, so there we go. And And then I gotta move the back, gotta adjust the bottom on the back. And this actually adds a little more strength to the printer, believe it or not. Doing this has actually made it so that the bottom doesn't vibrate as much. But that could be just something I notice. I don't know. It could be just my design. Who knows? So there I have that right there. Now you notice it doesn't stay in place because I need to put this long bolt in. Go ahead and you want to feed the bolt in from the back because that's where all the strength is on the part. So you screw it in. Now you don't need a washer on this one. You can, I'm going to give you some extra washers. You could use one if you wanted to, but it's not necessary for this. There's nowhere near any vibration or enough stress on this part to require you to have it bolted. The tension from tightening and clamping this rod will be enough to keep it on there. Okay, so with that part done, we go ahead and we go on this other part and we go ahead and we tighten that down too. So now you have a completed Z-axis support. We'll make sure all the bolts are tightened. Don't tighten too much. This isn't like acrylic where it's not going to crack, but if you did break it or bend it, you know, you're going to want to get more parts from me, and I may not have them. Okay, so now this is where those two little washers come in. There's a little bit of an inset on these NEMA 17 motors. So you want to make sure that this wire on the NEMA motor either goes to the front or to the back of the Mendel. Decide now what is your front and the back of the Mendel because you prefer to have this facing the back. And then you're going to have to fight it a little bit. You put the motor side that's going to the 5/16 rod in first, and then you push down, you clamp it in, and now it's in there. Then you take the two lock washers, and then you, I guess you actually need two more washers. I'll make sure they're included with the kit, sorry. And then you go ahead and then you put two big washers, and then you go ahead and you bolt this in. This doesn't need to be tight, but what this does is this still allows this printer to be ran upside down. I don't know why, but I like that upside down thing. That there's a talk about Mendel printers and getting them on the space station, and I think that out of courtesy for the person that designed, for the university that designed the Mendel, any Mendel that's designed out of courtesy should be able to work upside down. So, you know, I don't know if mine will, but at least I designed for it to be able to. So there you go. There is, it still needs some tightening down. And I need to tighten this up here. So different bolt sizes. There is a completed Z frame support with the Z motor, and now all you need is the threaded rod, and that side's done, and then to do it again to this